Thank you, Connor. All right, good morning. My name is Robert Jones. Uh, if you're like me, I'll be honest, I'm not really the best at exercising, and I don't really enjoy exercising too much. It's not my favorite activity. I feel like sometimes it could be a waste of time. I'd rather be hanging out with my wife or my son or doing work or homework. But it's important. It's something we need to do. It's something that prepares me for the future so that, I don't die of a heart attack at like 42 years old. So I needed to get creative with exercising. I need to find out something that speaks to me and makes me want to do it. So I'm going to present to you this morning an idea for exercising that I think hopefully you'll like and maybe you'll want to try, and that is drumming as exercise. I know it kind of seems like a revolutionary thought because normally we think of musicians to be total nerds and nowhere in shape, and that's true for most musicians, but not for drummers. The Telegraph, which is a paper in the UK, published a study by 2 British universities that says that drummers actually traditionally are healthier than soccer players, that their cardiovascular system works better than a person who runs on a soccer pitch for 90 minutes. Why is that? Well, because normally as a drummer you're playing for a couple of hours on end and you're using all of your limbs at the same time. You are working out your legs, your arms, you're counting with your brain, you're communicating with other people, you're sweating, you're constantly moving for 2+ hours straight, and you're moving every part of your body. So actually very, very, very good for you. Depending on what kind of music you play, depends on really what type of muscles you work out more. So a rock drummer or a jazz drummer is mostly going to play with their hands, but someone that's like heavy metal, death metal kind of drummer, they're going to be using their legs a lot, their feet, playing a lot of double bass while their hands are doing something else, using different sorts of independence. But it's not just good for you in physical health, it's also good for you in mental health. Like I said, when you're playing drum set, if I'm going to be playing, let's say like a double meter, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in my hands, I could be playing a triple meter in my feet, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 pullet, 2 pullet, 3 pullet, 4 pullet, 1 pullet, 2 pullet, 3 pullet, 4 pullet at my feet. And that's really, really complicated and complex. And it really takes a lot of brain bites to be moving your feet and your hands completely independently of one another. There have been studies as well as people who suffer from autoimmune disorders like CIPD actually using drumming as a form to help deal with the pain that they receive just from the deterioration of nerve endings. That drumming helps alleviate some of those like arthritic type symptoms, as well as just helps increase blood flow to individual parts of the body. It is incredibly healthy activity for people who suffer from depression. You can relieve some of the anger, rage, loneliness. When you start to develop your talent as a musician, increase your ability, you're going to want to play with other musicians. So as a drummer, you're working out your physical health, like we talked about. You're working out your arms and your legs. You're playing different instruments. You're working out your cardiovascular system because you're moving. You're burning sweat. You're burning calories. But that mental health is really what's truly most important. We want people who are going to be mentally stable and mentally healthy, and we want people who are building relationships. So you're working out your body by playing drum set, and you're like, you know what? I've gotten really good. I feel really good when I play. I'm feeling better. I get to the end of it, and I feel like I've worked out because drumming releases endorphins in your brain. But now I want to share this experience with other people. So you start playing with other musicians. You start developing relationship, kinship, and friendships. You're improving both your physical health, your mental health. You're improving your relationships. You're improving your emotional health. It can be used in so many ways that is self-help and improvement that really we probably all should be taking up drum set a little bit, if not a lot, because it can appeal to people who don't really have an inclination for exercising, like myself. I love being a musician. I love taking the time to write music and share that with another person, whereas I probably don't really enjoy being alone in the weight room doing squats and bench presses all day. If I can do something that has the same effect on my body, now I'm not going to build muscle, I'm not going to be Fabio over here with the 9-pack and the pecs, but I will have a healthy heart, I will have a healthy brain. I will be developing, like we talked about, a strong cardiovascular system. I will be teaching myself how to use each limb independently. I'll be releasing endorphins in my brain on a regular basis, being in a good mood, being cheerful. There's really hardly a downside to playing drum set. Outside of, we should say, you do kind of develop the arthritis eventually in the joints, like in your wrist. You can develop carpal tunnel, but that's pretty much true for any activity. So I really hope you can at least think about using playing drum set as a way for emotional health. It's been great talking to you this morning. Thank you, and have a great day.